A plan to set up a Statue of Peace in Washington, D.C. has been in the pipeline for nearly 3 years now. During that time, the statue commemorating the victims of wartime sexual slavery has been stored in a warehouse due to persistent protests from the Japanese government. But now that Statue of Peace has come outside in time for Korea's Independence Day.
Apologize to women!
A truck carrying a Statue of Peace stops in front of the Japanese embassy. The girl in the statue is looking straight at the embassy. On August 15th, civic activists and protesters who gathered to mark Korea's Independence Day called on the Japanese government to admit to its war crimes and apologize to the victims of military sex slavery. It was in November 2016 when this Statue of Peace first arrived in Washington, D.C. Identical to the statue placed in front of the Japanese embassy in Korea, this one was supposed to be erected at a college in Maryland. But that plan was scrapped due to the Japanese government's protest, leaving the statue with no permanent display location. It has been locked away in a warehouse near Washington, D.C. for 32 months before being brought out for this year's Liberation Day. In this event named An Outing with the Statue of Peace, citizens took photos with the statue and recalled its significance.
이 소녀상도 그냥 창고에 빛을 못 보고 있는 것이 우리가 너무 마음이 아프니까 오늘 하루 햇빛을 보고 대중을 만나고 우리가 다시 그 소녀상을 세우려고 하는 그 의지를 다짐하고.
The statue was then taken to the old Korean legation in Washington and a church in Virginia to refresh people's interest in the victims of Japan's wartime atrocities. To date, 4 statues of peace have been placed in the United States, including Los Angeles and Southville, Michigan. But this one in Washington, D.C. has to go back to storage once its short outing is over.